I'm Kath.
And I'm Stuart.
And this is Nala.
And we are Van Navigation.
We all live full-time in our self-converted Mercedes Sprinter. Hello. Follow us as we explore nature and the great outdoors around South Wales, the UK and further afield, attempting to travel the world before we keel over.
Hi, welcome to another video.
Despite the rain, we've got quite a bit planned this weekend, so we thought you might like to see what an average weekend looks for us when we're not travelling. Late last night we parked up somewhere near Margan Park, and we're off to do some foraging now, and then we're off to spend the rest of the weekend driving a little further west. Come along with us.
If you want to see some of the foraging that we did last week, check out the video here or here.
We won't focus too much on that this week, but hopefully there'll be lots of content as we drive west along the South Wales coast.
It's not looking great out there, but we don't let the rain get in the way of a good day's foraging. Minutes into the walk and Kath's already found her first exciting mushroom.
These are Copronellus mycaceus, glistening ink caps or something similar. These are really interesting mushrooms. They start off like mushrooms and then as they age they go through a process called deliquescence where they dissolve into actual usable ink. Oh, amethyst deceivers! Little teeny purple mushrooms. Ah, let's get one of these on camera. The purplest mushrooms you'll see in the woods. Can't really mistake them for anything else. They are edible, but they do lack flavour.
It's only been a week since we were last here. Seems like nature's made the most of the warm, wet weather. Coming out of the woods, we come across Capel Mire, which is a small ruined chapel built by the monks of Margan back in the 14th century. The chapel itself is situated in a roughly circular enclosure, suggesting that it might be on the site of an older church, and some burials have been found in the enclosure. The views from here, even on a cloudy day like today, are spectacular.
Oh yes, chanterelles. Oh, loads of them. I can see them right down there as well. Good spot. Oh, under my feet. I need a bag.
And this is what we came for. Chanterelle mushrooms, and plenty of them. With the bag filling up nicely, it's time to descend back into the woodlands and see what else we can find. And this is why we can't have a rope swing in the van. It's 3 PM in the afternoon and there's a solitary bat hunting. Or is it protecting a golden treasure? We never strip an area bare of mushrooms, but it appears I'm still collecting them faster than Kath can clean them. And with a full bag, we head back to the van to carry on our adventures.
Well, I'd call that a very successful forage. We're back at the van now and we'll be on the move again very soon, heading west.
a sea view, but it's only a 5-minute walk away, so that'll do for the night.
She's lying, there is a sea view. Here it is.
Only if you're 6 foot tall though. Time for one last walk down to the beach. The sun's just set behind us over there somewhere, and now we're taking a stroll. It's absolutely freezing. I've just changed into jeans on holiday. August, really.
Other than being a bit chilly, nights don't get much better than this.
Well, it's like a proper summer sunset. Who reckons I'm going for a morning swim? Do you think it's going to be warm enough? Answers in the comments, eh?
Good morning from a somewhat sunnier Wales. Feels a little bit more like summer today, but there are a few showers around. Nala's happy anyway, she gets to have a run while Mum plays on the computer. As promised, Kath's off for a swim.
Live my life before it ends. I got away.
I cannot say the sun has done very much warming up of the sea this year. Bloody hell, it's freezing. I'm in now.
As enjoyable as it looks, one of us has to stay out and film. That's my excuse and I'm sticking to it.
Rock and roll, LSD, don't forget.
With Kath all refreshed from her dip in the sea, it's back to the van for a bit of castle hunting.
So here we are in Larne, home of poet Dylan Thomas and this 13th century medieval castle that's behind me here. We just pulled up on the estuary. It's quite busy here today. There's Stuart and the dog. But yeah, absolutely beautiful, and the sun's shining too.
We follow the coast path from Larne Castle, or Brown as Owls, as described by Dylan Thomas in his poem of the same name. And speaking of Dylan, we'll be following his trail past the properties in Larne he owned, his writing shed, and other features that show his life and work here in Larne. Dylan's former home at Seaview is now an Airbnb, if that's your thing. It's listed on the holiday listing site by the bedroom. From here, we follow the coast path further up, taking in all the features and all the things that Dylan Thomas must have seen every single day when he lived and wrote here. We come to Dylan's writing shed, and it's hard to believe that anybody could be here, see this view every day and not become a poet. The writing shed is still in use, and every year poets vie for the opportunity to come here and sit and write poems, such as Poem in October, Dylan's birthday poem about Larne. It was my 30th year to heaven, woke to my hearing from harbour and neighbour wood, and the mussel pooled and the heron priested shore, the morning beckon, with water praying and call of seagull and rook, and the knock of sailing boats on the net-webbed wall, myself to set foot that second in the still sleeping town and set forth. My birthday began with the water birds, and the birds of the winged trees flying my name above the farms and the white horses, and I rose in a rainy autumn and walked abroad in a shower of all my days. High tide and the heron dived when I took the road over the border, and the gates of the town closed as the town awoke. A spring full of larks in a rolling cloud, and the roadside bushes brimming with whistling blackbirds, and the sun of October summery on the hill shoulder. Here were fond climates and sweet singers suddenly come into the morning, where I wandered and listened to the rain ringing, wind blow cold in the wood far away under me. Eventually our walk brought us to St Mary's Church, and in the overflow cemetery under this simple wooden cross is Dylan's final resting place. Fans of the poet regularly come here and leave trinkets and coins on this simple cross.
A short stroll from the church and we're back in Larne village, where we grab a few essentials in the local shop, and then it's back to the van for a late lunch.
Jam first, queen first. Tell us what you think in the comments. I went for jam first. Apologies to anyone we offended. Thanks, Mum, for the scones. They look delicious. So it seems that Larne is one of the few places that does do 24-hour motorhome stopover in the car park. Unfortunately, that 24-hour fee is £35. So we're off back to last night's park up. Morning. So it's Monday morning and we're on the move pretty quickly. It's just before 9 AM because as lovely as this park up is, we're on military ground, so we've got to move our bums before they come and make big bangs go off all around us. So it's just before 9 AM and we're saying goodbye to this lovely coastal park up, and we're on our way to another beach. See you soon. that really early start before we got blown up by the bombs. It's time for coffee and some work before we go out for a walk, I think.
So after an early morning wake up call, we've ended up at Pembrey. Kath needs to do some work, gives me a chance to investigate a mysterious rattle that's appeared on the suspension. Let's take a look. Well, I found the problem. I fitted uprated springs to this when I built it, and this little rubber bush has worn out that was between these. So I think that means that this is now loose. Yep, there's your rattle. Okay, simple fix for the time being. Just do up these two bolts and stop the little thing rattling. But one of the problems you have when you're van lifing is you don't have a driveway. So tinkering with the van, doing the little fixes on your own, you are limited as to where you can get them done. A nice car park like this gives us time to do it.
Pembrey Beach. Tide's quite far in today. Got absolutely loads of holidaymakers here, which is why you can usually find us hiding in the mountains all summer. Quite busy here today. We're just going to walk up the beach a little bit where it's quieter, and then we throw the ball for the dog.
Pembrey Country Park. It's one of our favourite beaches on the south coast. I've been coming here for years, kite buggying. Kath's been coming here for years, walking the dog. Truly is a stunning beach with about 6 miles of flat sands. And you only need to walk a mile up the beach and you have the place to yourself. It is evident every time we come down here how much the sandbank just here moves back into the country park. When I first started coming down here, these rocks just here were touching the bank. Now there's a considerable distance between them, which just goes to show the erosion of the bank over the years. It's a great beach if you like your shipwrecks. There's hundreds of them on here, and as the sand level rises and lowers, you get to see different ones at different times of the year. And this is one that's fairly close by, and you can see that every time you come up here. It acts as a bit of a rubbish magnet. You can see here how far the dunes have receded back. All of this used to be sand dunes, and now they're right back there. Every time the dunes recede, the path back into the woods gets steeper and steeper. It's times like this I'm glad Nala likes to pull me up mountains. Kath, on the other hand, has to do it under her own steam. Well, that was just a quick hop over the dunes, and we're now in the country park. I think someone's back on the mushroom spotting. This is the largest and easiest to find of the lakes in the country park, and it's a great spot for the dog to have a paddle and a drink after all the sand and salt water from the beach. It's absolutely teeming with wildlife. Well, that's us back at the van. Time for a spot of lunch and then go and sort out our container. We often get asked how we store all our stuff in the van, but the simple answer is we don't. As you'll see, we've got a container that both Kath and I store stuff in. Makes life much easier. And here we are. This is our container. Absolutely chock full of stuff. And there's about to be more stuff in there. We've come down today to do an exchange, stuff from the garage into the container and vice versa. With more tools at hand, it's time for another go at sorting out this rattle. Well, it looks like I'm going to have to jack the van up, so despite having the right tools, we're now parked in the wrong place to do it. A job for another time. With the container sorted and the van fix on hold, there's nothing left to do but have a spot of lunch and call it a day. Sausages? Did someone say sausage? I'm gonna sit. Thank you.
And that's another lovely weekend come to a close. We're just heading east again now, ready to loiter around near Stu's work for a few days before we're off on another exciting adventure next weekend. So we hope you've enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe and like, it really helps. And that's a goodbye from me.
And a goodbye from me.
Look out for our next video, which should be coming soon.